this is an illegal block by the kicking team right here. How do you enforce this foul? So 10 yards added to the succeeding spot, R's ball, 1st and 10. Is this a loose ball play? 10 yards previous spot and re-kick. Because it's a loose ball play, we have to do that. R will decline the penalty and keep the ball. Because what's the result of the play? The result of the play is the receiving team ends up with possession of this ball at about the 30, I'll call it the 37-yard line. So they could, that's an option. R will decline the penalty, keep the ball, 1st and 10 at the spot of the recovery, or it's none of these. Maybe it's none of these. So looking at it again, we're gonna say that based off of what happened on the field, that this is an illegal block by the kicking team. So where do we enforce this? We sometimes skip out on penalty enforcement, and penalty enforcement is one of our Achilles heels as officials. So I really kind of want to see where we're at, and hopefully we are teaching penalty enforcement correctly and discussing it so that way we don't make errors in penalty enforcement once we get to this point. Now it's funny, I said that what is the best enforcement? And so the 14% are correct, technically, but I don't know if that's the best enforcement. So the best enforcement, as people are still thinking about this, the best enforcement, what do we got? All right, let's go back to the play. Let's walk through it here real quick. What's the best enforcement option on this one? Well, remember, they changed the rule a couple years ago. If the kicking team fouls, and the receiving team will be the next to put the ball in play, which it looks like that this is the case here because they recovered it. The result of the play is the receiving team recovered the ball. So the receiving team will put the ball in play next. They have the option of, since this is a loose ball play, they do have the option of going back and re-kicking and giving the kicking team another opportunity onside kick. Nope, that's not a really good option. They're going to take the second option, which is the best option, or what I'm saying at least, the second option was the first option on the poll. Add this on, 10 yards at the succeeding spot, 1st and 10 for the receiving team, based off of the rule that was changed a few years ago about what the receiving team can do if the kicking team fouls during the kick and they're the ones to put the ball in play next. Everybody understand that? Now, I'll throw one other caveat into this. Go back to the play just to kind of bring it full circle. If the kicking team recovers the ball, all right, so now everything happens the same except the kicking team recovers the ball. Now, the receiving team does not have that option because what's the result of the play? The result of the play is the kicking team has the ball. So the succeeding spot, the receiving team will not be putting the ball in. But if you had that spot of first touching, this is important. If you thought the kicking team touched the ball like that official who dropped his bag, they can decline the penalty and take the spot of first touching and keep the ball. This is a complicated play. So they would obviously do that. Why are you going to give the kicking team the other option to kick the ball again? No, you're going to say, hey, that's why it's important to bag that. So I don't fault the official for bagging it because he had a spot of first touching by the kicking team and a foul. You can have both because you have that option if the kicking team were to recover the ball. So hopefully everybody understands that. Robert, did I do a good job of explaining that? Because I want to make sure.
You did. You explained it extremely well, in all sincerity. In fact, you answered a lot of questions that viewers were having based on the video. Who touched it first? What options do they have? So I thought you did an excellent job. You brought a lot of clarity to it. There's a lot going on that one play, but I'm glad you stated the options based on what actually happened.
Yeah, but it's just nice to look at it from the kicking side. Always ask yourself, what's the result of the play? Officiate the play until the end, because a lot of different things can happen. And in a play like that, receiving team recovered it, really easy. But if they don't, they might want the spot of first touching.